Hey guys, Trip here, and today we're talking about video game secrets. A secret is an intentionally hidden piece of content in a video game. It can be anything from a small joke left behind by the developers, to a hidden piece of story information, to an entirely new section of the game waiting to be found by the observant gamer. Call them what you like: myths, legends, rumors, Easter eggs, different words with slightly different meanings, but all a part of the same concept. From Metal Gear Solid to Legend of Zelda, from Grand Theft Auto to Super Mario Bros., video games are famous for hiding things from us. Now, I love secrets. I love the mystery surrounding them, that creepy vibe you get when you find one. I love the idea of playing a game for the millionth time only to discover something new. And I'm not the only one. Take a look at any gaming forum, and you'll see that nothing unites the community more than a mystery involving their favorite game. A well-placed secret becomes both a puzzle and a social experiment. Once a rumor catches on, it only takes a short time for the conspiracy to grow and take on a life of its own. Suddenly, you're playing an entirely new game, a metagame that requires you to comb through details, solve puzzles, and work together to find meaning in the strange clues the developers left behind. In this episode, we're going to talk about what makes secrets so damn awesome. I want you to tell me the stories of the strangest, creepiest, or most interesting secrets you've ever found. And to get you started, I'll tell you a story of my own. One of my earliest experiences with gaming secrets involved a game called Fable. For those who don't know, Fable is a fantasy role-playing game that promised a great deal yet delivered on very little. Still, even though it didn't live up to the hype, it was a solid game beloved by many. Now, I didn't own the game at the time, as my mother wouldn't let me have it, but I still followed the forums, watched videos, and read as much as I could on the game and its world. Because of the hype that led up to its release, there were many people out there who thought that the rest of the game was either cut from the final release or hidden somewhere deep in the game's code, waiting to be found under the proper circumstances. This, of course, led to a dedicated team of players who were committed to finding whatever secrets the game had lying within. There actually was a lot of evidence that the game was hiding something. There were characters built up to be major players in the story that were never seen again. In an early location in the game, there's a large door that simply can't be opened, causing many players to spend hours trying to figure out why it existed or what it was there for. There are books within the game referencing locations that we never actually see, references to people and events that seem important but never actually come into play. The game even seemed to tease that there was more to be found, with a huge side quest involving a hidden treasure that could only be found using the proper clues. When this super secret hidden treasure ended up being little more than a frying pan, players were convinced that they had either done something wrong or that the frying pan was meant to be used in some way in order to access something greater. As a young kid reading this stuff, all of this added to the strange and mysterious quality surrounding the game. It fueled my imagination as I tried to figure out what all this meant and how it played into the larger story. For months, I watched as players came to the forums to investigate the rumors and myths that surrounded this game. Absurd and complicated theories were developed and tested, with the goal of finding whatever the game had hidden within. The main idea here was that there was a hidden section of the game known as the Northern Wastes, which could only be accessed if you followed a very specific process. Supposedly, the Northern Waste was a small continent off the coast of the mainland, filled with ancient treasures and vicious demons. Now, I really want to express to you guys just how bizarre and complicated these theories became. I'm going to give you a quick rundown on one of the major theories that developed surrounding this game. It's not going to make any sense out of context, but trust me, it didn't make that much sense in the first place. Step 1. Discover the frying pan without finding the clues. Step 2. Hit the locked door with the frying pan until it turns into a demon door. Step 3. Solve the door's riddle and open it. Step 4. After finding whatever's inside the door, use it to activate the lighthouse in Hook Coast. Step 5. Use the lighthouse to summon a boat. Step 6. Sail the boat to the Northern Waste. Step 7. Kill a fucking dragon. Step 8. Cook the dragon with the frying pan. Step 9. Eat the dragon. Step 10. Profit. Believe it or not, this was actually one of the tamer theories out there. If you want a taste of the stranger ones, Google Fable Sand Goose. You may be able to find some of the old message boards. You probably guessed this already, but in the end, nothing came of any of this. It's generally accepted that these theories weren't completely crazy, that the game was originally supposed to have a great deal of hidden quests and secret rewards, but like so many things in Fable, they never actually saw the light of day. Much of this cut content was re-released in Fable The Lost Chapters, an updated version of the game with some new bells and whistles. Still, to this day, I wonder what the game was originally supposed to look like, and how these secrets were originally supposed to fit into it all. What's funny is that we don't seem to have learned anything since the days of Fable. Log on to the GTA or Metal Gear Solid subreddit, and you'll see the exact same story being told over and over again. Something obscure is found in a game, the internet comes together to investigate, the theories become increasingly absurd and ridiculous, and about half the time the search fades away in disappointment and regret. But I didn't make this episode to mock the true believers out there. I made this episode to celebrate them, to celebrate those rare instances where there is something to be found, where we discover something tangible after months or years of searching. And if we don't find anything, even if we got a bit overzealous, even if we end up frustrated and disappointed, the fun of video game secrets isn't in the reward, it's in the hunt.
I still think back to those times as a small child, watching the older kids team up to investigate the latest rumor in their favorite game. I think back to all the times I stumbled upon something unique that many people had never seen. I've said this a lot on the channel, but games have the power to foster creativity. Every time I discover a potential secret in a game, my mind goes on an adventure of its own. There's something magical about the unknown, something that causes our brains to come up with explanations that may end up being more creative than the actual truth. I love video game secrets because they fuel my brain. They're creative exercises for the mind. If you want to join the hunt for some video game secrets, or just want to see how these investigations work, I'll leave a couple links in the description to a few of my favorite ongoing mysteries. If you do want to get involved, I suggest bringing the corresponding game, a notepad, and a healthy dose of Xanax. So what are some of your favorite secrets in video games? Have you ever discovered or experienced something strange, creepy, confusing, or just plain silly? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.